Hi everyone, welcome to this week's lesson. Today we'll be taking a closer look at encapsulation, methods and flow control. We come across the concept of encapsulation regularly in everyday life. Imagine visiting a restaurant. When you want to order a meal, you simply tell the waiter what you would like. You don't normally get to see what is happening in the kitchen, and you don't talk directly to the cooks. If you were to walk into the kitchen, grab a pot and a pan, and try to cook your own meal, you would certainly draw some attention. This is what encapsulation in code also seeks to instill. Certain parts of systems, packages and classes are exposed to external entities. Other parts are hidden. This means you can control what happens without any unexpected side effects. The access modifiers we encountered previously help us to achieve this, as well as getters and setters. Within classes, we use a variable scope to determine which other areas of the class have access to it. Encapsulation is very important to consider at every level of an application, from small snippets of code to the biggest system level. Another area we will be looking at in detail is methods in Java. You are already familiar with the basic concepts of Java methods, but in order to pass the OCA, there are some tricky areas that you'll need to know in detail. One particularly tricky area is understanding how arguments behave when they are passed to a method. When primitives are passed to a method as an argument, the value of the primitive is copied to a new variable which is accessed by the method. This means any changes to this primitive, or if it is reassigned, there won't be any changes to the variable that was passed in. The changes will only be visible inside the method and discarded once the method is complete. If you would like to change a primitive inside a method, this value will need to be returned to the calling code if you would like to continue using it. When objects are passed to a method as an argument, the variable reference is copied to another variable accessible inside the method. Any changes made to this object state will be visible outside the method. However, if you assign the variable inside the method, this will not be reflected outside. This can be a bit tricky to grasp and goes back to what you initially learned about how primitive values are stored in the stack. But object values are stored in the heap. Make sure you fully understand this concept before taking the test. Finally, we will look at flow control. You will need to be very confident in your understanding of all of these constructs. For example, you will have to know that a switch statement only accepts a limited number of types, including bytes, char, short, int, and string. You'll also need to understand the difference between for each, do, and do while loops. Along with these loops come the break and continue statements. You use the break to exit or break out of a for each, do while, or switch construct. You use the continue statement to skip the remaining steps in the current iteration and start with the next loop iteration. Using these loops with the break and continue statements can lead to some very complex behavior, and you'll need to be able to think like the Java virtual machine as you execute your code in your head, tracking the values of different variables. Take your time to read through your study material and make sure you understand everything. Remember, we're here to help. Simply post your questions to the Noroff forum.